back again with another video, and in the spirit of Halloween, I'm gonna get a couple of like Halloween type videos out, if you know what I mean, like just themed videos, I guess. And if you've read the title, which you probably haven't, saw the thumbnail, today I'm gonna be listing like the best and worst horror characters, if that makes sense, like pop culture Halloween characters, I guess. And there's a good few. There's quite a few. There's a dog barking, I don't know if you can hear that. But yeah, there's quite a few. And yeah, let's get started. Okay, so first we're gonna get into the honourable mentions, because we have to do it. So number 5 for our honourable mention, we're gonna have Pinhead. Genuinely, I have no idea who this character is. Not a clue. Never heard of him in my life. But while I was doing like the research of like horror characters and stuff, and he kept popping up on like lists and stuff, and his pictures everywhere when I searched it. Like, he must be popular, but I have no idea who he is. So that's what's at number 5. Number 4, I'm gonna go Joint, kind of like number 4. These two from Insidious. Those, by the way, those films are amazing. I love them. But on the side of like horror characters, they're like on the lesser known side, rather than like the really, really popular ones. So they're there, and the reason they're Joint is because one of them's barely in the film at all, and the other one's kind of important to the plot, and there's no room to put them in like separate spots, so I'll put them on the same one. Number 3, I'm gonna go with The Nun, because this one, it's more popular, I think, and it's definitely creepy as shit, but it's there because everything above it is just way better. And that scene, that's creepy as fuck. Technically number 2, because those two were joint, but I'll put it as number 1. So at number 1, I've put the Joker. And yeah, I know he's not really like classed as a horror character, but I don't know, I just felt like it was kind of appropriate to put him there. And yeah, like the psycho kind of aspect of him is sort of creepy, if that makes sense. So he's at the first honourable mention. So at number 10, I'm gonna put Leatherface, and that is because everything above him is just way better. But the interesting part about him is I'm pretty sure it's based off real events, and like the stuff that happens in that film like actually happened. Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something like that, I'm pretty sure, isn't it? And yeah, it's a messed up story. But yeah, he's at number 10. We're gonna get into number 9, and I think at number 9 I'm gonna put Jigsaw from the Saw films, because he's like a pretty recognizable character, I think. But in my view, I'd say he's pretty much unknown, and I think I've seen one of them. I know nothing about him, absolutely nothing, but he's pretty popular, and I know who Jigsaw is, because he's everywhere. I think at number 8, I'm gonna put I'm stuck between 2. Number 8, I'll put Chucky, the doll. And yeah, Chucky's weird because he's not that creepy or scary or anything, but he's a pretty well known horror character in my opinion, and I think he just kind of tops it over the others. But on like the grand scale, I don't think he's that creepy, if I'm honest. But in like the spirit of Halloween, I guess it kind of falls into the Halloween horror category, I guess. So I'll leave it there. At number 7 is, I'm actually gonna put Frankenstein. If you don't know who Frankenstein is, you need to just bye. Yeah, Frankenstein's like, honestly, like, out of like every single like scary thing ever, I think Frankenstein's pretty much like the most popular character ever, I think. Like there's obviously like ones above it, like Freddy Krueger and Ghostface and Michael Myers and stuff. But Frankenstein, I don't know, like it feels like a historical kind of character, and it's completely fiction, obviously, but the book was written, I don't know when the book was written, it was a long time ago, let's just put it as that. But very, very popular, I think, and in most people's lists, I wouldn't expect anyone to actually put Frankenstein, to be fair. But yeah, I think that's going to be my number 7. So getting on to number 6, I think at number 6, I'm going to put... I don't know. I think I'm going to put Pennywise. No, that's probably a bit controversial, maybe. I don't know. But the one above it, I'm going to put just slightly better, and mainly because I've not seen a lot of Pennywise. I've seen the films, but I've not seen them as much as I've seen the other films, basically. So I can't really rank them on anything other than what I remember about the films, which I'll probably watch soon. But yeah, I think Pennywise will be at number 6. And he's pretty big on like the horror scheme, I think, isn't he? There was a film, the 1980s, I think, and I think that's not called It, I don't think, is it? I think it is, maybe. But yeah, I've seen like loads of clips and stuff of Pennywise, the newer version, but I've only seen the films once, maybe, if that. Yeah. Now this is why I said it was a bit controversial, but above Pennywise I've got Freddy Krueger, and that is just because his face, I think, is just a lot more recognisable, and like his face is, like, I think like most of the time in Halloween in like shops and stuff, I see his like face as like a mask all the time. I barely see a Pennywise one. And he's the one with like the long claws and stuff. I've not seen a single thing of Freddy Krueger. I'll be completely honest, I have no idea. I've heard his name loads in like TV shows and stuff and comedies, and like when someone wants to refer to a scary, ugly character in a TV show or another film, they will say his name. So I've definitely heard his name a lot more, but I have never seen anything of him myself personally. But he's at number 5 just because like retail and stuff, like I see and hear a lot more of him rather than anyone lower, sorry, of him. Getting on to number 4, I'm gonna put a fairly new character who's in the scene. I'm gonna go Art the Clown from the Terrifier films. Now, I've seen them, and they're something special, to say the least. They are something special. Yeah, they're pretty messed up. But they're to a weird, messed up psychopath kind of way. They're quite enjoyable. And yeah, you see a lot more like people at like Comic Cons and stuff dressing up as Art the Clown, and you see a lot more like promotional stuff of him. I've not seen like the early, is it TV shows? I've not seen like the early versions of him. I've only seen the Terrifier films, but those ones are really good. And there's another one coming out. They're making a 4. But yeah, that on like the scheme, like the grand scale of like horror and Halloween, it definitely falls like very, very high, because Jesus Christ, that guy's messed up. So getting into the home stretch now. Number 3, I'm going to put Jason, and he's the he's the reason that this Friday the 13th thing is so big. It's because obviously like the camping, and yeah, I've never seen anything of that, but it is really popular, and like it's very well known, and like I know of the story even though I've never seen it. So like, you know, yeah, yeah, and of it, like he's very, very recognizable, like the ski mask, the hockey mask, like that's when if I saw like a hockey mask with like a few like little red lines on it, I'd be like, yeah, that's Jason. And yeah, he's there just because he's incredibly well known and super, super popular. At number 2, I'm gonna go Ghostface, and I think he'd be a little bit lower, I can't lie, but this Ghostface is a solid character. There's a lot of films now. I'm pretty sure there's another one coming. That's not the Ghostface I want to talk about. This is the Ghostface I want to talk about. No, I'm gonna put them in like the same character, but yeah, they're combined. It's a really good character. The Scream films are really, really good, and they're really, really, really enjoyable. But the Scary Movie films are even better, in my opinion. Just because I love comedy, and you mix kind of horror and comedy into one. It's not so much a horror film, is it? But yeah, I enjoy that, and obviously Ghostface is just super, super popular. And if I go into a shop, his mask will literally be everywhere. 100%. And his voice is actually one of the AI voices on TikTok, I think, isn't it? You can use his voice as the text-to-speech. But yeah, he's at number 2 because he's just super, super well known, and I just love the character, and I love the Scary Movie films. They're pretty funny. Right, now, getting down to the number 1 spot is because it is my absolute favourite, like, horror films ever, and he's my absolute favourite character. You probably can guess by this because I've not mentioned him. It's going to be this absolute beauty right here. Yeah, it's Michael Myers. I absolutely love the Halloween films. like genuinely, especially the newer ones, the new sort of trilogy, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. I love those films. Like those are like my go-to like Halloween films to watch. Like every year I've got like a little tradition of my own that kind of just came up randomly a few years ago, that I will watch those 3 films especially on the 31st, because that's just an unspoken rule that I've got for myself now. But I just love Michael Myers, and just like the fact there is no, that you see no expression on him at all, and he just walks and around, like he don't even run, does he? He just appears, and it's perfect. The writing in the last 3 are a bit dodgy. Like, how the hell does he survive that fire? He survives a lot of stuff. But I'm not complaining because I get to see more of him, and he is genuinely just the best horror character ever, in my opinion. That could change, but I highly doubt it could, just because he is just perfect. Honestly, I just love it. And again, his mask in the shops is just everywhere, and his face, I think Ghostface mask is like more well known than Michael Myers is whatever. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, but in my honest opinion, I think he's like #1, and he deserves like the #1 spot, and I just love those films. So yeah, well, anyway, that's my my list for the top 10 most popular and well-known horror characters for Halloween. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. You know, I don't know, I enjoyed doing these ranking videos. They're quite fun. Yeah, if you want to see more of them, let me know in the comments. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.